ES Audio.
From the Evening Standard in London, I'm David Marsland, and this is the Leader Weekends. Every Saturday, we bring you a bonus episode of our business podcast, How to Be a CEO. This is a cut-down version, so hit the link in the show notes to hear the full thing, or search your podcast provider for How to Be a CEO. There are new episodes every Monday morning. This song and the intro to Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi are about the only things I can play on a piano. Like a few people my age, which is very young, I learned it after seeing Tom Hanks and Robert Loggia bounce about on that giant piano at the legendary New York toy store FAO Schwarz in the movie Big. Do you know what else is big in New York? The British toy company Marvin's Magic.
FAO Schwarz was great for us, a small world, even in those days. And I'm sure they would have been over and seen success at Hamleys and Harrods and Selfridges where we had products. But also, there's a thing about in America, they like the English thing and it has a sort of cachet about it.
It's been 35 years since Marvin Berglas founded the company that's now in 60 markets worldwide. An incredible trick for anyone. Never underestimate the power of magic.
I just had a flair for it. I just enjoyed it, got into it, and realised that this is powerful. What you can do with magic, whether it got you to the front of a queue in a nightclub or meeting people or whatever, and having fun. It was just a great thing. So, am I a magician or am I a businessman? I like to think as both, and I think it's a really lovely hat to be wearing.
I'm David Marsland, and Marvin's going to be appearing at the Evening Standard's SME Expo, along with people like Deborah Meaden, Levi Roots, Charlie Mullins, and loads of others. It's being held at the XL in London on April 25th and 26th. Find out more at smexpo.co.uk. But before he takes to the stage, let's meet Marvin at his office in Marylebone, where I want to know how he broke the United States.
How do we get there? Well, when we had success in London first with our demonstration business, which is how it all started out really, in other words, showing the products off, we thought, well, there must be some other stores like this around the world. And we tried to understand where they were. And obviously FAO Schwarz was a big one. And so we targeted them first, but they've changed ownership and management. Lots of things have happened since then. But they reopened a few years back in Rockefeller Plaza, and retail entertainment, which is sort of in-store theatre, is very big. It separates them from the old sort of supermarkets and people who just pile it high and products and sell it cheap. They wanted to concentrate on like experiential shopping. So it's like an event to take the kids there, and we're good at that. We've been doing it for a long time, and they've seen that and they like us, and we've got a huge area there. Now we look after all of their demonstrations.
So I guess there must have been a point, probably in fairly recent history, when stores like FAO Schwarz, like Harrods, realized that people were doing online shopping. So we've got to get people back into the store themselves. Yeah. And were you just standing there waiting? Or did you go, do you know what, we can help you out with it?
Well, think about it. We were actually doing this instinctively, when we first started. This is our 35th year now. But doing this demonstration type of business is actually quite complicated, because the sort of people that are good at demonstrating and being theatrical tend to be extrovert people who maybe aren't the best at getting there first thing in the morning and and all the things you need to do sort of to keep down a 9-to-5 job. And as retail became not 9 to 5, it was 10 to 10 often, and it was huge. We had to get a whole pool of people, and rather than just magicians who were magnets that come to us, we actually went out and got sort of actors who were often unemployed and trained them between auditions to be able to work and learn entertaining sales presentations. If the guy or girl is good demonstrator, you've got your attention, it's entertaining to watch, and your applause is if you trust them enough that you actually want to take it home and buy it. That's the applause.
Magic has a traditional home right here in England. Did that work? Does that work internationally? Can you make that part of the brand?
Do you know, we did. We made it part of the brand. We push on the English side of things, and especially when we expanded. We're now in 60 odd countries, more than 60 countries. The majority is in the States and the UK, but we have, we're in every territory you can think of. Crazy. And sometimes you get a market when now our brand is known. Somebody would come to you and let's say might be from Hungary and say, I want to put this there. It's a bit complicated, but, we have to work it out and obviously translate the packaging and the instructions and there's minimum orders required. So there's costs involved in all that type of thing.
Okay, quick magic trick. Think of a number between 1 and 10. Now multiply that by 9. Done that? Multiplying by 9 is pretty hard. Now, from that new number, add the first and second digits together. And if you went lowball, and I don't blame you, and only have a single digit, add 0. Now, add 4. And while you figure out how I know the number you have is 13, have a listen to some adverts. Back after these.
Going back 35 years ago, when you, I guess, first designed or set out to do this, did you see yourself in 60 countries? Did you see Marvin's Magic being the household name that it is?
I was always hoping, and I sort of did. Funny enough, I was thinking back that when I was a kid riding my bike, maybe 9, 10 years old, I actually envisaged something like this. I don't know what it was, but if you've got passion in something, I think it didn't happen overnight. We worked very hard. Lots of things have happened, and in all fairness, David, I'm really proud of what we've achieved. That we've been encouraging literally millions of kids around the world into magic, which is a great hobby. And did I imagine? I was hoping, but it is actually organic. It's happened. One opportunity leads to another, and I think if you're good and you're reliable, you're honest, you're hardworking, people see that and they want to associate with you. As opposed, if you're too desperate, pushing, and it's no good looking for the fast buck in this world. Especially with all the compliance and all the additional costs and things you have to do. We're here for the long game.
Was there an opportunity way back where you could go, that's where everything made the difference? That was the turning point for this company.
There was 2 or 3 things that I couldn't pinpoint. Obviously, the first being the launch in the big store groups, which was great. The second was when TV shopping became very big.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, going back now 22, 23 years, and the likes of QVC was just starting in the UK. And they came to us and said, look, if we give you a 2-hour show, what do you think? And we did. We put our stuff. We put on a full-on magic show selling our products, but it got a lot of new names. A lot of people started to watch, and they liked that, and we sold very well. And as a result of that, QVC in America at that stage was huge. It was going to 63 million homes. So we actually earned the opportunity to have 2 one-hour shows, Marvin's Magic with Marvin Berglas in Philadelphia, the largest live studios out there. That was quite an experience because it was full on and sounds very exciting, and the numbers were potentially huge, but the risk factor was also enormous because it was pretty much sale or return, and we had to label each product, get it all out there, and if it didn't work, it didn't sell, it was coming back. And that's a long way to send products there and back. A lot was on the line. That was a big risk for us, but thankfully it did sell. And one of the products in particular sold ridiculously well. It was a magic drawing board, which is a age-old product which we've been selling, and I think they bought something like 8,000 units for the first show in November and 10,000 for the second show in December, and I managed to sell all 18,000 in 4 minutes.
That was something a good day.
I mean, it was, and there was like 1,000 people on the switchboard taking the orders. And they said, "This is great. This is, even by our numbers, this is really good." And so they said, "How quickly can you get some more?" And a container load was about 36,000 of these things. But as a result of that, we did a partnership with them. They came to us and said, "This is great," and they called it Marvin's Magic. And they did what they called DRTV, direct response TV commercials, where they put on quite cheesy sort of adverts. Phone this number, and as a result, our brand became quite big from then onwards, and it was known in the States, really. So that helped us open a few doors, clearly.
What's your biggest seller? What's the biggest seller of all time? And is it still selling?
Well, I think those numbers are hard to beat. They were incredible because we sold millions of those items. But generally, our staple sellers tend to be Magic Made Easy box of tricks, which is, at a price point and an introduction into magic. Everyone's had a magic set at least once in their life, and it's our job to make sure that magic set is as good as possible with clear instructions, so the kid can be the star of the show, get the playground power, impress his family, friends, and then hopefully go on to the next one or want to get the next thing. And that's how we've built it up. And glad to say that a lot of our customers became our demonstrators in stores and later became successful people in show business, over the years. As we say, it's got a nostalgic feel now. Second generation, the people who had it as kids now are buying it for their kids, which is great.
That was Marvin Berglas from Marvin's Magic. If you enjoyed that, remember he's appearing at the SME Expo in April. Go to smexpo.co.uk for more info.